Hello and welcome to Sailing Elsie. My name is Seth and I aim to earn your subscription today. This week's episode is probably the first of 3 or 4 consecutive episodes to get my Watermaker system put together. It is a project and I invite you guys to subscribe and follow along. Yo, you guys are killing it. This is great. You know, every one of you matters. Every one of you counts. Thank you so much. I really appreciate every single one of you. This is actually my goal, is to get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much to every single one of my subscribers. I really, really appreciate you. All right, let's start getting into Watermaker, desalinator, reverse osmosis, that kind of stuff. So on the boat, it's nice to be able to make your own water. Then you don't have to bring it or go get it. So this is the basics of how the system works. This is a small, low-power pump that basically just pushes the water through the filter, and then it goes to the intake of the pump, the high-pressure pump, and the output goes through the membrane, comes out the other end, and the other end there's a valve. When you close the valve slowly, it raises the pressure. Once the pressure reaches the osmotic pressure of the specific mix of seawater, and it depends on the salinity and the temperature, at what pressure that occurs, then it starts pressing. As the pressure comes up, it starts pressing the water through the membrane, and the salt stays on the outside of the membrane. Fresh water goes through and into the tank. That's it. These systems bought new are pretty expensive, so I've kind of picked up parts here and there, and I think I have what I need, excluding the hoses and stuff. So we're gonna have to get that done. This will be done probably over the next 2 or 3 episodes. The big thing right now is, ideally I would power this with a motor powered directly by the batteries, but a motor that powerful that runs off of 12 volts is quite expensive. $1,200, $1,300, $1,800. And this is just an inexpensive air compressor motor, 2 horsepower. I ran calculations. This should take about 1.5 horsepower to run. I went 2 just to make it easy. But here's the thing, this is an induction motor, and when they start up, they draw a lot of power. When it's running, it should be 15 amps or something like that. But on startup, it could draw quite a bit more. So let's plug it in and see if it'll just start on its own, running nothing at all. That's going to be the big tell. This is actually a clutch, so I can start, if I have to, I can start the motor without having the clutch engaged and let that spin up and then engage the clutch once this has some momentum rolling. But anyway, let's get this hooked up and see if I have enough power to start it. I have a 3,000 watt Renogy brand inverter, and my fingers are crossed. Let's see. Alright, so the first thing is we need to wire this up, and this motor can be wired in different configurations. It can be run clockwise or counterclockwise, and it can be run on 120 or 240 volts. And so I'm just going through the manual right now, figuring this out, and let's see what I can come up with. Alright, so going clockwise, counterclockwise like it comes to the factory. Clockwise, we want T1, T8, T7, T6. 1, 8, 7, 6, 6, 2, and 9. 6, 2, and 9. So now I just got to hook up power. The neutral goes here. Hot goes here, and then here's the ground. I typically don't like to cannibalize extension cords for projects, and this is the wrong cord to use for this in the permanent aspect, but This one looks like it's already volunteered for the job, so let's go ahead and take advantage of the generosity. Get that wired up. Okay. Get out of there. Alright, so I guess we'll start at the bottom with the neutral. There. And hot. Here. Got our ground. Alright. Should be ready to go. Fingers crossed. See if we have the power. So what we're looking for is this to be turning clockwise and that the inverter doesn't go into overload and shut down. So let's see what happens. Oh, that's bad news. It shut down. Inverter shut down. I think it auto resets. Oh, that's... Alright, let's try this again. I've turned off everything on the boat, so the inverter is just powering this. There really wasn't much running on it before, but let's see if it'll do it. I wonder if even if I just give this a little head start spin, I don't know. Well, let's do it without, because that would be ideal. Oh, it almost started. Come on. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to give it a little bump, pull it out, and then a little bump. Dang, it shuts down immediately. All right, let's see if maybe I can get it rolling first. Dang it. All right, I'm going to have to do a little research. I think there's what's called a soft start capacitor that I can get for this. I'll be back. It's been 24 hours. I went down a rabbit hole and a half. I would really like to explain everything I just learned and the conclusion I came up with my conclusion, but I don't have time. So I'm going to put all that information in next week's video. Hopefully I can figure out some animation or something that would be fun. I haven't done that yet in my video adventure. But anyway, here's another little thing that I tried to do to get this thing to work. I had this thought that maybe if I could pre-spin it, that it would take the initial load off. Well, here, let's see. Alright, trying to figure out how I can do this while keeping it in frame for you guys. Let's see. Here. Get that started. Alright, so when I get this up to speed, I'm going to use my left hand to engage it. Oh my gosh. It actually worked that time. Holy crow. I did this 2 other times and it just instant. was totally unexpected. Interesting. Either way, this is not the solution. I found a much better solution. I will explain next week with more precision. This is still super interesting.
This is where